everyone, and welcome to my new background. So if you can't tell, you may not, I don't know, I switched up my background just a touch. This shelf right here is the same. I changed this one out quite drastically. So what used to be on both of these shelves were some of my favorite YA fantasy, but I've been feeling lately that I've been wanting to switch up my background, and I may continue to switch it up, so bear with me here. But I've been wanting to change it because my taste in reading have changed quite drastically over these past couple years. I still really love YA fantasy, but I don't read a ton of it. I read a lot more adult books now, so I wanted my background to reflect my current reading habits and what I love, so that's why I changed it up. So this is what this looks like. Let me know if you like it, if I should change it. Like I said, I might keep on changing it, but I mean, I have a lot of books up here that I love. I've got some Kristen Hanna books, I've got a lot of Book of the Month books, as you can see. I've got some Sophie Kinsella, I've got Victoria Schwab, I've got Leah Moriarty. I've got a lot of my favorite books that are adult that I just really love. So let me know your thoughts and opinions. Anyway, that's not what you're here for. You're here so you can hear my thoughts and opinions on 3 books. So this is another Mashup review, and I realized that these are all kind of sequels or companion novels to another book. So I thought that was very interesting. Some of these books I'm talking about have first books in their series, but they are not necessarily important. Like, they're not necessarily 100% important that you read the first book. You can read these books on their own. But as always, I would recommend reading the first one in all 3 of these just because they're light, fun reads, and why not? So is YA Contemporary, and all of these, like I said, had first books in the series. So the books I'll be talking about today are 9 Days and 9 Nights by Katie Codugno, Leah on the Offbeat by Becky Albertalli, and Love and Luck by Jenna Evans Welch. As always, I will leave timestamps down below in the info box if you want to hear one book review in particular. Without further ado, let's begin. So first, we're going to start with 9 Days and 9 Nights. So the first book in this series, I would say this is the one that is 100% a sequel. The other 2 are kind of companion novels. This one's definitely a sequel. And the first book was called 99 Days. And I read that last year and I really enjoyed it. Codugno just has a way of writing that I really fall easily in love with. And I don't necessarily love her books, but they're just a fun time. I don't want to tell you the plot 100% of this one, but I will tell you 99 Days. It's all about this girl named Molly who comes home to Star Lake, and it's a bit of controversy. Mom based her latest book on Molly's love life, which was insane the year before. So Molly was involved with this one guy named Patrick, I believe, and he had an older brother, and a love triangles kind of happened, and her mom made a book out of it. So there you go. So she comes back home, and it's not a warm greeting, and things are happening. She's maybe falling in love with the older brother. Either way, this book takes place after, I would say, like a year, maybe even more after the first book. In this book, Molly is going on a trip with somebody. I don't want to tell you who because I don't know if I want to spoil it. Like, I feel like talking about the book almost would spoil it for you. She's going on a European trip with her boyfriend. That's all I'll say. You don't know who it is. And she, you know, she sees somebody from her past and it sparks things up and things happen. Either way, this is a very short book. This is literally under 300 pages, which I was kind of worried about because I was like, wow, this is a very, very short novel, but I really enjoyed it. Dare I say I might have liked it better than 99 Days. I really feel like Katie Codugno writes real people. All of her characters in all of her books are very flawed individuals. They have a lot of feelings. They may do not the right thing all the time, which I feel is very real life, honestly. Sometimes you read characters that are just so good to be true because they are. But with her characters, they feel like, you know, like real people. In this book, I feel like Molly has grown up a ton. See her change because of the events that happened to her in the first book. And I really love the whole European trip. They went to like London, they went to Ireland, they went to other places. It was just a really cute book, and I loved how it ended because 99 Days left very open-ended, which I don't hate with contemporary books, but I'm the type of reader that really loves, like, you know, a story to be 100% complete, you know, for the circle to be filled in all the way, to not leave any gaps or leave any question marks in the story. So I was very excited when I heard about this book being released because I was like, oh, it's gonna, like, you know, finally, you know, fill in. We're gonna have resolution, and we did with this book, and I was very happy with it. So overall, I gave this book a 4 out of 5, which, oh, I really loved how this one went. I loved that there was, you know, conflict, and it was real life conflict, and people talked about their feelings, and, you know, things that needed to be said from the first book were finally said in this book. It also dealt with a lot of personal issues. I just really enjoyed it. So If you are interested in Kate Cudugno, I would say my favorite 2 books by her are this kind of series, 99 Days, and also How to Love, which is right here. This series I really, really enjoy, and I would like to see more from these characters, even though the story's complete. But either way, I really enjoyed it, and I was very surprised that I enjoyed it. The next book I want to talk about is Leah on the Offbeat by Becky Albertalli. This is the 2nd book, technically, in the Creekwood series. This is a companion novel, so if you've heard about Becky Albertalli, I'm sure you've heard about Simon vs. Homo Sapiens Agenda. This is like the companion novel to it. So in that book, we got introduced to a character named Leah, which is one of Simon's best friends, and obviously she has gotten her own book. So this one's also hard to explain without spoiling it, because I feel like one of the major plot lines, like I don't think it tells you, yeah, it doesn't tell you who it is. I might do a spoiler section for this part because there's just stuff to say about it, but basically this follows our main character Leah, and she is dealing with a lot in her life. You know, this is her senior year of high school, college applications are happening. She's kind of feeling for somebody that she's very conflicted about, and that's all I can really say about it. I ended up giving this book a 3.5 out of 5, which again, I was surprised about. I really thought I would give it a 4.5, because I really enjoyed Becky Albertalli's writing. I really enjoyed Simon, but I think the main downfall of this book is the character Leah. And I know this is going to be controversial, because either you really, really like Leah or you really don't. Leah is a character, kind of a jerk. I'm just going to say that. I get that she's a teenager. I get that she's going through a lot of different things. A lot of things are changing in her life and stuff like that. But a lot of her actions and a lot of the things that she said really annoyed me, quite honestly. In particular, her relationship with her mom. Her mom is a single mom. Her dad is not in the picture anymore, and her mom's a young single mom. Leah's mom is very much in her life, and she cares about her daughter and her friends, and she wants to do anything she can for her daughter. And I feel like Leah sometimes would not be the best to her mom. She would talk to her very meanly about her love life, and her mom is trying so hard to be the best mom she can be. Like, she's a great mom, honestly. So that is one thing that really annoyed me with this book, was just the sheer fact of Leah just being a jerk to her mom. And I think Leah was the big problem with that. I get, again, that she's a teenager, all that stuff. Maybe it's because I'm a mom now, so I see things a little bit differently. I'm not sure, but either way, Leah was just a jerk. She was also a jerk to her friends sometimes, and her thoughts and actions. And I mean, we all have jerkish thoughts. I mean, I know I do, for sure, but I do like Leah. Don't get me wrong. I like Leah for her brashness. She, you know, she is very snarky, and she'll tell you how she feels. I like that a lot. She's very bold, and she's very comfortable in her own skin. I appreciate that a ton, because she's a plus-size woman, as am I, so I'm always up for reading about that. But at the end of the day, just sometimes what she says and her actions just don't mesh well with me. So I think that's the one part I didn't love. Also, the romance in this book. It was very cute, but I don't 100% agree with it. So spoiler warnings for this. I am going to talk about the romance in this book. If you want to hear about the romance, just wait until I do not hold up this book anymore, because there you go. You know, if you don't want to be spoiled. But I know I'm breaking the rules of this Mashup review being non-spoiler, but I have to with this book, honestly. So yeah, spoilers from here on out. When you see this book, drop down and you pick up another one, you can watch again safely. Her and Abby, I enjoyed them a ton. I thought that was really, really cute, but I don't like the way it happened. It just all happened very, very quickly. We were so used to seeing Abby and Nick so in love, then all of a sudden Abby and Leah are together, and I think it's great, but I'm also like, they got together like literally as, it just, I don't agree with the timing of it. I felt like that was kind of just very quick, very rushed, and I get life and love is like that a lot of times, but I just don't feel like it was very realistic, honestly. I just really felt we had the complete destruction of Nick in this book, which I enjoyed Nick in the first book, and just to see him completely fall apart in this book and just, you know, lose it, which understandably he did. I didn't like that at all. Like, we just completely destroyed his character for a new romance, which is one thing I really don't enjoy with books. If there's a new romance that somebody wants to put up there with, that's great, and they just want to, in order to do that, they have to destroy a character. I'm not the biggest fan of that. So again, I do like Leah and Abby together. They're cute, they're adorable, all the swoon-worthy feelings, but I just don't agree with how it came to be. I would much rather happen when they went to college and they were away, and, you know, they both kind of found themselves and they found out they love each other, and that's great, but it happened so quickly after her and Nick split up, and just, I don't know. So again, I may be the only one that feels all these feelings. I know it sounds like I'm bashing this book. I'm totally not. I really enjoyed it. It was a quick, fun read. I love Becky Abertala's writing. I love, you know, her characters. I love all of these characters so much. I mean, Simon and Bram were adorable. Everybody was just amazing in this book. But at the end of the day, I just don't love Leah. I've come to realize I enjoy movie Leah much more than book Leah, which I may be the only one. I don't know. But yeah, 3.5 out of 5. Was kind of disappointed in it. Wanted a little bit more character development. That's the thing that I think about at the end of this book, is that there wasn't a lot of growth with Leah as a person, which I didn't really enjoy. So yeah, I'm not slating this book. I enjoyed it. Would definitely recommend it. It's a cute, adorable read, but just not a lot of, you know, growth happening. And the last book I want to talk about is Love and Luck by Janet Evans Walsh. Again, this is another companion novel. Her first book was Love and Gelato, which I read a couple years ago. Enjoyed. This is kind of taking on the same vein. In the first book, we follow a character named Lena who goes to live in Italy with her dad because her mother has passed away. And this book follows her best friend Addie, who Addie is going to Ireland with her brothers and with her mom to go to their aunt's wedding, and she decides to, you know, take a trip around Ireland. One of her brothers are really having a kind of falling out, and this kind of trip kind of rekindles their, you know, I don't want to say rekindles, kind of pulls the brother and sister closer together. So this book doesn't have a lot of romance in it, which I really enjoyed, because I really enjoy also the fact of Ireland. We got to see a lot of sightseeing in Ireland and then going on this road trip, and it was really adorable for that. But like Love and Gelato, I find her writing, I find her books just kind of fun, quick read. There's not a ton of depth to them. I don't know what else to say other than I give this one a 3 out of 5. I did really enjoy it. Like I said, it's a fun, quick read, especially if you want to be whisked off to Ireland and just sightsee and kind of read about a brother and sister that were very kind of estranged and kind of coming together again and bonding and stuff like that. But it's not like one of my favorite ever. If you're just looking for a fun, quick summer contemporary book, this is definitely the one for you. So there you have my thoughts and opinions on these 3 books. So sorry I took up a lot of time, especially Leah, because I wanted to, because it's a pretty big fandom this book is, so I wanted to make sure I talked about it a ton. It could have got its own video review, honestly, but it is what it is. If you've read any one of these books, please let me know down in the comments which one was your favorite. Did we have the same opinions or did we not? I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, hit subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.